Hi guys, it's Alexis here, and yes, I'm in a different spot. I usually film over there, but I'm actually filming during the day for the first time in a very long time, and I wanted some natural lighting, and Shadow wanted to be in the video. As you can tell, she's very excited. I look a little bit edgy today. I don't know, I wanted to be kind of angsty and stuff, because we're gonna be talking about some past things, and you guys know I was pretty angsty back then, so I thought I would bring it back and I can still rock it. So today's video is a very big announcement. I'm like really excited and I'm out of breath. Okay, but yes, today's video is a very big announcement and I haven't said anything about what it is. I have put out some tweets and some Instagram things about like, you guys aren't ready for this, like this is an exciting thing. I even put a poll out earlier today and it was like, do you guys want it now? Do you want to wait? I'm still gonna make you guys wait a little bit. I might have this uploaded tomorrow, but as you guys know, when I was 12, I published my first book, My Emotions Today. I made a whole video on it. It was an amazing opportunity and probably one of the coolest things ever. I was 12 and I had published a book. I remember telling my parents that I wanted to publish my story. They didn't laugh, but they were like, okay. And I emailed publishers and people emailed me back and it was just a great thing. I have my first check from this book framed on my wall right there. My dad did that for me and I think it is just so cool. This book is not my favorite thing ever. It's just like if an artist writes a song and they hate it after a while. I did write this when I was 12. I mean, look, I've grown a lot from this book. Still an amazing thing, and people that did read this back then, thank you so much. I know it wasn't the best. I look at it now and I'm like, oh my god, like you put that in there? Ugh, you did that? It's not the best, but it was a great thing. After I wrote this, I wanted to write more, and I talked about writing some other stories and everything, and I never really got into I want to publish this because everything that I wrote I wasn't really like into. But around 8th grade, I started really getting into poetry. And poetry is not easy to write. I am not the best at poetry, but I think I have a talent for it somewhat. So I started writing some poetry and I really enjoyed it. I don't want to get too emotional on this, but I'm probably going to. I have a lot of eyeliner on. This is dangerous. We talked about this in another video. This book talks a lot about how I got bullied for a long time, and it doesn't really go into detail of what was going through my head because I was 12. I didn't want to put myself out there that much because I was terrified. Yeah, that's changing. I've started to put myself out there a lot more, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it. So although the bullying stopped after I wrote this, for the most part, I mean, like, I get hate comments and whatever, but I just think they're funny. So for the most part, the bullying stopped. A lot of things continued and a lot of things started that I had never gone through before. For example, we all go through things with relationships, which is kind of silly for me to say because I'm only 16, but believe it or not, I have had some very interesting relationship situations and all different kinds, and it's been a roller coaster. And I struggled with addiction to self-harm, eating disorders, a lot of things, and I don't like talking about those things because they're personal and I don't want to seem like someone that is asking for attention from other people. Another reason why I don't like talking about my emotions today, my feelings and everything on the internet is because I always want to make people smile. I love being that positive influence on everyone. I love being that person that people can go to talk about anything whatsoever. I love being that person, and it's hard when people see you down for them to think, oh, like I can go to this person, I don't really know where I'm going with this. But yeah, we're just gonna get into it, we're just gonna, she did it again. I don't even know like how to start this. I got my second book published. Alright, I don't want to make this video long, but we might have to because I like talking about it. Like I said before, I started writing poetry in 8th grade and I would write little stories and stuff, little poems here and there about my feelings and whatnot. And then I stopped for a while because I was just like just couldn't think of anything. And then a lot of things went down and I started writing again, and it was an on and off thing. Never did I think that I was going to turn it into something more. I thought, these are just little poems. Sophomore year, I joined a creative writing class at my school with my favorite teacher of all time, Mr. Holt. Shout out to you if you're watching this. I had him in 8th grade for writing, and I had him for my English 2 in sophomore year and my creative writing class. And the assignment was to write a story or whatever, and then he'd grade it, not really based on the writing itself, just on if you worked on it. And I was like, all right, well, I'll write some more poetry. There were a lot of things going on in my life at that time. So I thought, why not write some more poetry? You know, I really enjoy it and I think I have a talent for it. As you guys know, I moved at the end of the semester down to Florida, but that was when it was due because it was only a semester class, and, you know, he was reading it and he's like, you need to publish this. This is good. And that's when it really was like, oh, maybe I should share this. And it was a lot of debating because there are a lot of things that are in this story that are not sugar-coated whatsoever. And that's scary to put those things out on the internet because I don't like sharing my emotions on the internet, and it's kind of a tricky, dangerous thing. So let's talk about the book. Done with the backstory. There's a lot more that we might get into, but the book is called I Am Healing. The title of the book was a very hard thing to decide because for a while it was going to be called I Am Healed, and that's right here. But I'm not. There's still going to be things that are happening. I didn't want this book to be about like, oh, I healed, you can too. I want it to be more like, hey, you can start healing, let's work on it together. You know, does that make sense? I don't know. I know what it's like to relapse on certain things and feel terrible and hate it. And it is a sucky thing, don't get me wrong, but beating yourself up over is not a good thing. And I think just having that mindset of, well, let's just keep healing, let's just keep working on it, you know, that's a good thing because no one's ever going to be perfect. There's always going to be things going on and we're all healing. So that is why the book is called this. I wanted to put healed crossed out because I don't know, I liked it. And it says my name in cursive. Oh my god, that's so cute. I designed this cover by myself. I wanted it to be really simple. I wanted it to be something that you guys can like set up and be like, yeah, like, you know, aesthetically pleasing at the same time, because although people like don't judge a book by its cover, you're going to, you know, that's just how things are. The back of the book looks like this. I've got the cutest little picture of me down there. It's got my about the author and everything. And then on the back, the book description or whatever took me a while because I didn't want to put like, this is a story about blah, blah, blah. Because I did that for my last one and it was cute, like I liked it, but I wanted to put something just very straightforward to get the reader's attention. So I put the first poem of the book because it's right here and then it's right there. So I wanted to put the first one because I think the first one is a good start. Now, later on, I'm going to read that so you guys can get like a little taste of what the book is about, but it is not a big book. It is, I think, like 80 pages total. And it's also a very easy read. I mean, it's just little poems that I've written, but the poems aren't just random poems. They tell a story. Like I just showed on the first page, it says part 1. There are 2 parts to the story. There's the part 1, and the part 1 is everything that I was struggling with, and it was just the low part of my life. And then there is part 2. There's part 2 right there. And part 2 is almost like the healing process, like what was going through my head and when I started to like kind of get out of that little hole, that little ditch that I was in. It does tell a story. It focuses on addiction to self-harm mainly, eating disorders, relationships is a big one. I had a lot of different relationships in that time that I was writing poetry, and I kind of put them all together into one male character in the story. I don't know. I didn't really think that I was going to get it published because it's a process, and it's not like I'm a big influencer or have a lot of money. You know, big influencers get people emailing them like, oh, do you want to write a book? Here, we'll do it for free, or what. I don't know the exact process, but doing it yourself is a lot, and I'm only 16. But I knew I did it when I was 12. I can do it now, and I did it. Now, I'm going to read the back poem, aka the first poem in the book, which is kind of the start of everything, and it kind of sums up the story. And then we're gonna get into like release dates and prices and whatnot, which I don't know a lot about, so I don't know why I acted like we're gonna get into it like there's actually information. My eyes start to water as the staring contest continues between her and I. I watch as she looks me up and down. Although I spot a smirk, tears stream from the side of her face. My eyes drift away from her and slowly fall back to her core, an almost fully eaten apple. The bones inside pop out of her chest like a ripe grape. She tries to pull her skirt down, but I still see the bright red flesh underneath. "You're bleeding," I whisper. She already knows. One at a time, I see the tears fall onto the soft carpet of the room. My face is damp. "I want to be happy," she cries. I fall onto the ground lifeless as I continue to stare into the mirror at the lost soul that I call myself. This is where it begins. Every poem has a title at the bottom, which is the thing that I think a lot of poets do, and that's what this one's called. This is where it begins, which I think is a very good starter. I don't know. I published another book. I am so freaking excited for you guys to read this. I've had some people read this, like my dad's read it. He thinks it's amazing. I had some friends read it and they cried, you know, people that can relate to things like this. And you know, my teachers have read it and they think it's amazing as well. And I think it's amazing. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I'm very proud of this thing. This is like, I don't know when it's gonna be released because this is my only copy right now. And I got the copy and there are some things wrong with it, like the wording on the side is kind of crooked and everything, and we have to figure out like the printing issue and whatever, so I'm talking to the company now. I have the ability to publish it whenever, and so once I have everything figured out, I will probably be putting out when it's going to be released on my Instagram, because that's where I post all of my information. So if you don't follow my Instagram, please do. It is I am Alexis McGuire. But yes, that's when I'll be posting my release dates and all the information on it, and I'll be putting like some sneak peeks of different poems in the story on my Instagram stories. So don't forget to follow my Instagram and check that out. Other things, like I said before, I publish this myself, which is a lot of money, and it's a lot of money just to publish a book yourself. It costs an extra whatever, I'm not going to say the amount, to get an editor or, you know, extra things like that. And I didn't do that. There are things in here that are, you know, like commas in the wrong spot. I hate commas. I try to be really correct with that kind of stuff, but I'm just not sometimes. There are some spelling errors. I know there's a specific one on page 16 that if you read the book, you'll have to find it, but there's things like that in there, and I'm just letting you know I'm aware of them. I hope it doesn't ruin your reading for you, but maybe someday I can get it reprinted or whatever, but for now I think it's okay. Now for the price, my last book was like $15 and I didn't get to pick the price. I got a new company, Lulu Publishing, shout out to you guys. And I don't know the exact price yet, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be around $8. I wanted to make it cheaper so more people can get it, because I understand I struggle with money on the daily. So I try to make it cheaper for you guys, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be around $8, maybe 8 to 10. I'm pretty sure it's going to be $8. My book is going to be available online at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Lulu Publishing. I'm pretty sure those are the three. There might be more, but those are the ones that I'm for sure about. That's all I wanted to say in this video. I'm very excited. When this does get released, if you read it, if you buy it, make sure to send me pictures. It'll make me so happy, for real. Like, I'm just so excited for people to read this. I've been waiting so long and I've had to keep my mouth shut, which is really hard for me. I wouldn't have the confidence to put this out there if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. That's my special announcement. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the book, please leave them down below and I'll be answering all of them. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time.